All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is December 4th, 2025, and hopefully you watched the other one earlier, the Crisis Report alert from this afternoon. Looks like that one is doing probably par for the course. This one is called a new state, and the reason why is because, well, there's going to be a new country. And that country is, I don't know what they're going to call it. I think something Arabian state is what it is. It's basically Eastern Yemen at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So, I did more of a deep dive on the Crisis Report alert earlier today. So, if you want to check that out, basically what's going on is that Yemen is a failed state since 1990. It's been basically going in and out of a civil war. And the eastern portion of it is effectively desert, but it's got a lot of oil reserves. And so there's proxies between Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And they're fighting over this. And right now the UAE has basically gotten in a new state going, and they've got control of the oil. And so it's a very interesting one. It's just, I don't even know what, I'm trying, let me see if I can't find, before we get started, this thing from earlier today, and I will give you just a better understanding of this thing. I don't even, let's see, where is it? There we go, there's the alert. Okay. Let me find this thing just to read it for posterity, because it's important, and it will make you understand why there is a new state coming. All right, so this is it right here. This is territorial changes in Yemen before and after the Hadramaut offensive. Southern Transnational Council, or STC, is a proxy of the United Arab Emirates. It defeated and conquered the capital of the Hadramaut province, Sayun, from the internationally recognized Yemeni government, or YAF. It's a proxy of Saudi Arabia, and cut off their access from the Indian Ocean by driving along the coastline and reaching the Omani border. One of the reasons for the rapid advance of these STC, or Southern Transnational Council, in this area was that the Hadramaut is Yemen's least populated region. The entire province is a desert devoid of people. Hadramaut offensive is making the end of the Yemeni civil war closer and supports the case for the partition of Yemen into two states, a North and a South Yemen, as they were before the Union of 1990. Okay, so that's about as good of an explanation as I've seen. You've got pro-Saudi, you've got pro-UAE. Yemen is the battlefield, and they've kind of gone after each other. And now it seems like the UAE, through this Hadramaut province, which is effectively just desert, but it's got oil off the coast, so it's clearly, it has some importance. So that is that. All right. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you're thinking about putting your IRA or 401k into gold and silver, we have partnered with them. I don't have to tell you what's going on in the metals markets right now. You take your retirement and you can put it into it with all the tax benefits and all that. If you'd like to look into this company is one of the best. They are Better Business Bureau rated, and you can go and get the link, set up an informational. They will get with you. They will talk to you, and they will let you know. And then from there, you can either decide to go forward or you can say no thanks, and that's it. All right, so let's get started on a new state. This is December 4th, 2025. This is your crisis report. European Broadcasting Union, EBU, is the organizer of the ESC. It has decided that Israel will not be excluded from the Eurovision Song Contest in 2026. Israel will be invited. After the decision, the broadcasters of several other countries announced a boycott of the music competition. Spain, Ireland, and the Netherlands, and also now Slovenia, have already officially declared their renunciation. So I don't know if you've ever seen this Eurovision Song Contest. It's literally one of the freakiest, weirdest, strangest things you will ever watch. And you sit there and you can only do about 3 to 5 minutes if you're a normal human being. And after about 3 to 5 minutes, it literally is, you'll be sitting there scratching your head going, what in the hell did I just watch? It's really weird. Go just look up Eurovision and just go see what comes out. Doesn't really matter what it is, who it is, what country. It doesn't. It is weird. And it literally tells you everything you need to know about the continent of Europe. Trump signs agreements with Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo aimed at stabilizing the region for Western mining investment. U.S. senators are seeking to block NVIDIA sales of advanced chips to China for 30 months. Russia has banned Roblox over concerns about child safety and extremist content, including rainbow-related material. U.S. DHS cuts maximum eligibility on work permits for immigrants from 5 years to 18 months. Vance says the EU should be supporting free speech and not attacking American companies over garbage. School teacher Enoch Burke was jailed again in Ireland for contempt of court. Burke was suspended in 2022 from his school after refusing to use a student's preferred pronouns, citing his Christian beliefs. This has been going on for a few years. He was a medical college professor, I'm pretty sure, and he's gone basically from a guy that said this stuff is crazy to now becoming an activist. Well, he is in jail indefinitely until he basically says, I will take on this agenda that you are foisting upon everybody here in Europe. And so he's just there. I mean, he could be in jail for the rest of his life. So interesting case. And it's, he's like basically considered trespassing. He kept going back to his university trying to teach. It was kind of an activist thing, though. It's a really strange story. But the scary thing about it is that this guy is now could be jailed for the rest of his life if he chooses this for not, relinquishing and saying, you know what, yes, your agenda and everything you're putting out onto society, even though I fundamentally disagree with it, I will agree with it, so you guys will let me go. Trump is shifting focus to humanoid robots following a plan to advance artificial intelligence. Congratulations to all the people that do like stocking and stuff at Walmarts and Amazon. Your replacements are only a year or so away. FBI has just raided the home of the January 6th pipe bomb suspect, reportedly Brian Cole, because after 5 years, they couldn't figure out who it was, and now they've got like this amazing amount of information and details and evidence that they just got in the last few weeks. Not that there's any major broadcasting company, like Glenn Beck's Blaze that has so you get the point. All right. Trump is not endorsing pro-Israeli Colombian immigrant Valentina Gomez in the Texas GOP primary. Vice President J.D. Vance says the EU Commission may move to fine hundreds of millions of dollars for refusing to engage in censorship. Jasmine Crockett is expected to be pushed out of Congress after the Supreme Court allowed a redrawn district map that would shift the seat towards Republicans. A New Jersey-bound airplane suddenly plunged thousands of feet in October, sending 15 people to the hospital. It was likely hit by cosmic rays from a star that exploded in another galaxy, according to space experts. So please believe that explanation and don't think that maybe they were testing some form of new weapon. Many residents reportedly received earthquake alert from Dayton, Nevada region. Washington suspends some sanctions on Russian oil giant Lukoil. Putin says we should engage, not obstruct U.S. talks on Ukraine. Trump says I'm dealing with the poisoning of America. Ireland, Spain, Slovenia, and more, and Netherlands are boycotting Eurovision. Nobody cares. One of the big three RAM manufacturers, this is actually a big deal. Micron has announced that they are exiting the consumer market completely. to focus on meeting the demand of AI companies and their data centers. Why is this important? Well, the problem is you need RAM, and they're one of the major manufacturers of RAM, and now they're not there anymore. So kind of an interesting one, if you will. Russia has banned Snapchat throughout the country. The authorities said one of the reasons for the ban was that Snapchat had been allegedly used to organize and carry out terrorist acts within the country and to recruit perpetrators. UAE gets control of the oil fields in Hadramaut, Yemen, as we stated earlier. FBI raids the home of DC pipe bomb suspect Brian Cole. We foiled an attack by Houthi militias on our positions in the Haifa border front. Laj Government, UAE-backed Southern Transnational Government, announced. Large Israeli airstrikes against civilian areas in southern Lebanon are going on and have been going on. Hamas has killed Yasser Abu Shabab, Palestinian commander who was cooperating with Israel. Hamas fighters entered behind the Israeli-controlled Yellow Line, killed him, and successfully withdrew. Supposedly some big deal over there. Polarization by design, how elites could shape mass preferences as AI is reducing persuasion costs. What does that mean? Well, in democracies, as we've all seen, major policy decisions typically require some form of majority or consensus. So elites must secure mass support to govern. Historically, elites could shape support through limited instruments like schooling, mass media, or censorship. Advances in the AI-driven persuasion sharply reduce the costs and increase the precision of shaping public opinion, making the distribution of preferences itself an object of deliberate design. Wow. Gosh, it's almost like you'd hope some channels are saying, maybe this whole rollout of these new beautiful things that are artificial and supposedly intellectual, maybe they're just put out there because this is done by the rich bastards to make you think a certain way, knowing that the idiot class will do that. Who could have saw that coming? Dormant government building, nation's capital, may seem like an unlikely setting for the setting of a peace deal, but nearly 9 months after the Trump administration seized control of the U.S. Institute of Peace headquarters, an extraordinary public showdown, and all that shuttered it, the center has reemerged newly named after President Trump. Some people, of course, are not really happy with that. Hold on real quick, friends. I got to plug in my thing or I'm going to run out of juice here. 1 second. Yep. This is our last night in this garage. We're moving to a short-term rental for a while. We'll have more on that to come. But yeah, it's been quite tough getting things done, if you will, with all of this stuff. We have been living in basically a garage as I try to get this thing to freaking work. There we go. Hold on. If you saw how chaotic my life is right now, you'd I don't know. It's freaking chaos. So, okay. All right. It's going to be worth it in the end, though, folks. All right, we're back. Mysterious heartbeat has been detected pulsating from interstellar object 3I Atlas as it is nearing Earth. A leading climatologist has issued a stark warning saying the central and eastern United States faces one of the planet's most severe cold outbreaks this month, fueled by an early Arctic plunge. So we're all going to die, okay, because it's cold. I don't know about you. Back in my day, we used to have snowstorms all the time. United States companies announced 1.17 million job cuts through November 2025, marking the steepest layoff tally since the Rona crisis ravaged the workforce in 2020. President of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, asked for the military of his country to defend sovereignty with their lives in case of a possible conflict with the U.S. Colombia does not allow itself to be threatened, and whoever moves in threat to treat to action will only awaken the jaguar that is asleep. As human beings, we engage in dialogue, not under threat. We are not for sale. Only slaves were in the past. Sovereignty is defended with life. Former Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba, 2026, Ukraine will lose even more people and territory. We have enough strength to continue the war, but not enough to change the trajectory of the war. Reality is really starting to set in with a lot of these countries that that whole Eastern European thing is not going the way that they want. Southcom released footage of a strike on an alleged narco-trafficking vessel in the Eastern Pacific. Operations first since November 15th. The United States is preparing to expand its travel ban to more than 30 countries, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has said, so get ready for more of that. Trump and Howard Lutnick are set to pivot toward human robotics in 2026 following plans to fast-track major advances in the intellectual artificiality. U.S. employers made 71,321 new layoff announcements in November. 1.17 million layoffs now marks the first year with 1.1 plus million job cuts since 2020, and American consumers are in trouble. So now we have, in this fabulous year of 2025, biggest technological boom since the internet, ongoing Fed interest rate cuts into the AI boom, Trump's impending new Fed chair announcement, $700 billion plus in annual technology capex, the end of quantitative tightening, and widespread deregulation. What he's saying there is you might want to go buy stuff. That's what they're promoting, because they're saying that they're pumping it to pump it up. U.S. small business employment is collapsing. U.S. small firms cut 120,000 jobs in November, most since May 2020, according to the ADP employment report. Companies with 1 to 19 employees cut 46,000 jobs, while those with 20 to 49 employees cut 74,000 jobs. Also marks the sixth, whatever, I'm not going to go into the thing. If you want, though, this link is here. This is on the Substack. We are kicking butt and taking names since I really went full on with Substack. So if you are interested in these links and stuff, you can sign up. You can become a free subscriber. You don't have to pay. Some people do, and thank you for doing that. Thanks for those people that are members. Thank you for supporting the cause, trying to get you the most comprehensive news on YouTube out to you. So with all of the speed bumps and crap that's thrown at this channel, we appreciate you. Trump accounts will feature tax-free contributions, with hundreds of major companies set to contribute. 25 plus million U.S. kids will now receive $1,000 from the Trump administration, $250 from Michael Dell, all tax-free contributions made to these accounts. Gosh, it's almost like it's basic and it's universal and it's some form of income. Critically think, folks. Please critically think. Central banks are ramping up gold purchases. Global central banks purchased 53 tons of gold in October, the most since November 2024. Marks a 194% jump compared to July, and the third straight monthly acceleration in the first 10 months of the year. Central banks have been buying. U.S. dollar is still sitting near historic extremes. U.S. Fed trade-weighted real broad dollar index is trading near its highest level in 40 years. Index measures the inflation-adjusted value of the dollar against 26 currencies based on relative competitiveness. And something's going on with Apple. Over the last 72 hours, their AI chief has stepped down. Apple's head of UI design has left to Meta. Apple's policy chief has stepped down. And Apple's head of general counsel has stepped down. I don't know. What do you think? Click. Unrealized losses at Japan's regional banks are surging. A lot of people are talking about the Japanese government bonds, or JGBs. They're doing weird things, and it could be signaling a bit of a downturn, but we'll see. Unrealized losses for Japanese regional banks on domestic bond holdings surged $4 billion in fiscal quarter 2 2025, ending September 30th to a record $21.3 billion. Marks a 260% increase since March 2024, when the bank, I guess, yeah, it's crazy. They're doing crazy things over in Japan. Problems. You can get all this right here, folks. Look at all this. Do you know anybody on YouTube that's giving you this much information? Literally. Who's doing it? Look at that. And that was just like the last, what, 18 minutes? 20 minutes. Help support me, please. Okay? Let me put this into perspective for you. In January of 2025, 11, 12 months ago, I was at 10,600 plus subscribers. I'm now at 10,700. I can't even put into words how much slapping they do. I don't know why. I really don't. But from what I've learned in my time here, it means that we're doing something right. Okay? This channel, I really don't care about numbers and all that. I just want to report here. PrepperNow is my baby, so I'm a little bit more in love with it. But by the way, I put out a short. Check it out. It's kind of funny. It's a bunch of girls pranking their grandpas. But yeah, I need all the help you can get. Okay, please. They're going to town. Okay. All right, friends. God bless you all. Thanks so much for being here. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. I look forward to the person in the comments that will say that we shouldn't challenge this beautiful platform here. Yeah. We're on Gab, Minds, Truth, Twitter, X, Subscribestar, Locals, Substack, so many places now. I'm on X, and I'm on Rumble, and I'm on Kick. Go on over to Kick. I put a link in my community post on PrepperNow. Check out that thing. That's kind of a pretty new thing. It's what the youngins are using. I've got 7 subscribers. It's going well. Other than that, friends, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you, and we'll keep going until they tell us we can. All right. See you on the next one.